Welcome back to the show. Now to tech.
Eris, powering your digital world.
Joining us now with all the latest features, rollouts, and buzz from the tech world is technology journalist Dennis Mitzner. Hey, Dennis. So good to see you again. I feel like it's been ages since you've come on the show.
It has been a few weeks.
It has been a few weeks, but we're going to start off today with Amazon. The CEO, Jeff Bezos, is a very happy man right now.
He's a happy man, but he's also a very interesting man. I mean, we have all these characters like Steve Jobs and all these big tech guys always sort of cover news, like front page news and sort of even sex icons, I would say. But Jeff Bezos is different. Like this guy, he's been executing the same plan for like 30, I would say 25, 30 years, building the company, making smart purchases. I mean, buying Washington Post, he turned it around. And I think this is not a fluke. It actually makes sense that this guy is doing so well as he is.
So do you think that's a secret to his success, is that he's had a steady plan for so many years?
And he's kept the sort of white noise outside. Like he's been able to focus on, I mean, think about it. If you have a plan from 96, 97, and you're here now with Amazon, I think that's unheard of, unprecedented. I can't think of a company that's been able to do it so fast and so well and so meticulously.
It's really, really interesting. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more from him. And now moving on to a sustainable food delivery service that's really interesting. Tell us about that.
Right. I mean, there are several food delivery companies now in that space, and I think what the news item right now is that a lot of them are failing, mainly because they are essentially logistics companies. They're not reinventing the wheel. I mean, they're not really bringing innovation into the market or showing new ways to deliver. And I think companies like Uber and Amazon and sort of people and companies in the transportation and logistics industry are just waiting and looking and sort of seeing how it consolidates and how one after another is sort of dropping off the scale and being out. So I think we'll see Amazon and Uber and Google taking over this space, and I think a lot of these small companies that are essentially just, you know, hey, we have a bicycle, we have delivery guys on bicycles. I mean, this is nice, but it's not a business model. So I think the big players will come in and really innovate, whether it's drone deliveries or something.
That would be wild.
Yeah, something similar.
I'm sure people will just be snatching pizzas out of the sky, huh?
Right. I mean, we don't need the traffic. I think we have the technology to solve that.
That is true. And let's talk about a new security camera that knows you were there. Can you explain this?
Right. This is using Sana. I think it's using Google's technology to sort of for Google's facial recognition technology to know who's in the room. So, I mean, this raises all kinds of questions. I mean, as I think, you know, you and people with kids would love to have this in the house. I don't know. So to know who's basically, if someone's breaking in, and even if not, you know, you want to know who's in your house. But I think there's going to be a big backlash from the privacy people.
Privacy, exactly. Yeah, I mean, technology these days is really infringing on our privacy, isn't it?
Yeah, and also, I mean, Google is so big that they can, even if you think you don't have a picture of you somewhere out there on the web, you probably do. Yeah. So, and Google knows that, and you can find it.
Yeah, that's why we, as parents, have a policy where we don't post pictures yet of our daughter. But we'll see how long that lasts. She's pretty cute. It's kind of hard not to. But finally, tell us how some smart goggles are going to help people with insomnia.
To help, that's a good question. I think this guy who came up with this latest technology had an accident, and he's kind of approaching it from the neuro aspect, neurological, neuroscience aspect. But when we talk about this company that the name escapes me, but that just developed this new technology, as we see in the image here, picture. They only raised 1.3 million a seed round. Yeah. And they're only starting to ship in second quarter of 2018. So I'm not too excited about this.
It's an interesting initiative, though.
It's an interesting initiative, but I don't know if it's going to be a business. We'll see.
Yeah,
it's too far along. Yeah.
Well, Dennis, thanks so much for this today.
Thank you very much.
Eris, powering your digital world.
And Are We Really Alone? A book published today called UFOs Today, 70 Years of Lies, Disinformation, and Government Cover-Up by Dr. Irina Scott includes a never-before-seen testimony of a witness to the Roswell incident and is once again raising questions over one of the biggest modern conspiracies in the United States. Joining us now from West Yorkshire, England, is publisher of that book, author and researcher of unidentified flying objects, Philip Mantle. Philip, thanks so much for joining us today. Break down exactly what happened in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947 and what the new witness account released today means.
Yes, good afternoon. Well, the basic scenario is that in the desert just outside of the town of Roswell, New Mexico, early July 1947, something did crash. It was on a rancher's land, and he found this strange debris. His name was Mac Brazel. He didn't have electricity, didn't have a telephone. So a few days later, he took some of this debris into the town of Roswell to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff contacted Roswell Army Air Force. The air base was nearby. It was the only atomic bomb wing in the world at the time, and they sent their base intelligence officer, Jesse Marcel, out to investigate. Now, Marcel gathered some of this material up. On the way home, back to the base, he stopped, got his wife and son out of bed in the middle of the night and showed them this material. And they were astounded. The very next day, the Roswell Army Air Force released an official press release saying the rumors of flying discs were no longer a rumor, that one had actually been recovered on a ranch near Roswell, and the wreckage was going to HQ for analysis. They retracted that statement and said, oops, sorry, we made a mistake.
Right.
It was all
hence one of the biggest conspiracies of modern time, as I said. But anyway, people who are interested, be sure to check out the book that I mentioned. Thanks so much, Philip, for joining us today. Coming up next, dancer and journalist Ori Linkinski is in studio to bring us the hottest dance acts around the world right now. But first, the news.